The fishing news is brought to you by Shoreline Insurance Agency and Okuma. Tim C. Smith here for Fred while he recovers from foot and ankle surgery with this week's video fishing forecast. Despite the mild temperatures, fishing reports continue to be difficult to come by, with most shops that are open complaining of very little effort by anglers. Cod fishing continues to be a tough affair this winter, with a few excellent days sprinkled in and around mostly slow fishing. Too many days the boats are tied to the dock due to weather and rough seas. Most captains are convinced, however, that the cod are within reach of the East End, but pinning down their location with so few fishable days has been difficult, and cold water has also been an issue. Out in Montauk, Captain Tom of the Sea Wife 4 reported the cod fishing has been very inconsistent as of late, but believes the fishing will become more consistent as water temperatures increase and we get into a spring weather pattern. Captain Carl of the Viking Fleet said the weather has really limited the number of days they were able to get out, and when they did sail, the fishing has been mostly off. He also believes colder than normal water temps have affected the bite, but is optimistic that the current stretch of warmer temperatures and southerly winds will have a positive effect on the fishing. The weather doesn't look bad for the next several days. They plan on running local trips Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and schedule a long-range Nantucket rec trip departing 9 p.m. Friday, returning 1 a.m. on Sunday. They'll be targeting cod, pollock, and hake, and reservations are a must since space is limited. Reserve a spot online at vikingfleet.com. That's vikingfleet.com. Or call 631-668-5700. Many South Shore tackle shops spoke of some white perch action in the tidal creeks and rivers between Patchogue and West Babylon. John at J&J Tackle in Patchogue said a few white perch have come from Tuttle's Creek, Carmen's River, and one of the local golf courses. Frank at Chase and Tails Bait and Tackle in Oakdale has been scoring white perch in the Connetquot and noted there are a number of small stripers in the river as well. Mike at Saltwater's Worldwide Outfitters in West Islip said a few customers spoke of catching white perch and trout at Argyle Park in Babylon. And Bob from Bob's Bait and Tackle in Amity Harbor has confirmed reports of perch coming from behind Taco Bell in West Babylon. I recommend nachos for those fish. If you want to give white perch a shot, here is Greg from Trophy Tackle with advice on how to rig for these fish.
Thanks, Tim. One of the key factors in white perch fishing is light as line as you possibly can. What I have rigged here is 4-pound test Berkeley fluorocarbon line to a 16th ounce VMC marabou jig. And I like to use a casting float. This is a torpedo float with a little piece of lead on the bottom. That'll enable you to get this little jig out there a lot further. I rig it anywhere from 3 to 4 feet down. And just move it around, cast it, top of the cast, and move it around. A lot of times you have to search for the white perch. Move it around, give it a shake, give it a jiggle, kind of like you would with a snapper popper, and then just let it sit very still. You don't have to use just a marabou. You could use twisted tails. My favorite is a 2-inch chartreuse sparkle, and just put that on any kind of a 16th or an 1/8 ounce jig head with a size 1 or 2 hook. The other rig you can use, the bait fisherman, is grass shrimp, which are on most of the local piers and docks. Get a fine mesh net and just drag it up the piling or bulkhead, throw them in a bucket and go fishing. The rig would be a very similar rig with a float, and I would use a number 4 or a number 2 bait saver hook under the same type of casting float. If you can't get the shrimp, you could always use night crawlers and things like that.
Elsewhere on the fishing front, herring have been nothing to write home about, with the only confirmed herring reports continue to come from the far west end of the island. The crew at Bernie's Tackle Shop in Sheepshead Bay said herring have been caught at the Canarsie, Coney Island, and 59th Street piers, but the action has been inconsistent. And don't forget, before you wet a line anywhere in the New York Marine District, except when fishing on a charter or party boat, you will need to have your free saltwater registry. DEC is enforcing the requirement, so it would be pretty foolish to pay a fine for something that is free. You can register online with this really long link below, or you can call 866-933-2257, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. If fishing is not in your plans this Sunday, check out the AllPro Fishing Expo and Seminar at the Huntington Hilton. It promises to be unlike any fishing show you have ever attended. Details are in the March issue of the Fisherman, which is out this week, and the show is also featured in this week's online fishing news at thefisherman.com. The same day, one of the island's largest flea markets takes place at Temple Emmanuel. That's 123 Merrick Avenue in East Meadow from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Until next week, this is Tim C. Smith for thefisherman.com. The fishing news is brought to you by Shoreline Insurance Agency and Okuma.